Here's the thing about being an empathetic person. Being empathetic truly is a great quality to have. Naturally, we are self centered people. And this is not saying that we're self centered in a bad way, that we want all of the attention, that we want all eyes focused on us. We're the center of everybody else's universe. I'm not saying that. But naturally, all we deal with on a day to day is our own inner world, our own inner thoughts, our own inner opinions. Like, this is just what it is. We deal only with ourselves every single day. When you're empathetic, though, you have the ability to step outside of yourself, right? You don't focus on your inner world anymore. You either share it or you fully walk away from your inner world temporarily and you step into somebody else's inner world and you focus on their issues. You share their feelings of whatever it is that they're going through. However, being too empathetic can really stop you from making strides in your own personal life. You have abandoned your own inner world. It'll naturally start to work against you because you're not there to really pull the strings and navigate your own day-to-day routines at that point. So you will lose the momentum that you have in your own personal life dealing with someone else's emotions. And here is the craziest thing about all of this. You feel like it's justified, right? Because again, you're being empathetic, you're sharing in somebody else's feelings. So in your mind, you're like, okay, I'm being supportive. I'm being there for this person, this family member, this friend, whomever it is. I'm being there for them. So in your mind, you feel like everything that you're doing is justified. And I'm here to tell you, because I have had to learn this the very hard way this last month, it is not justifiable. Okay. If you are new here, my name is Tony. You can call me Tony. You can call me Rachel. That is my legal government name. I'm good with either one, honestly. But bulk of my content is women empowerment, personal development, self-growth, self-love, navigating your 30s, and really understanding that we have time. Okay. We have time to do all of the things that we still want to do. Just because you didn't accomplish it in your 20s doesn't mean anything, quite honestly. No timelines exist. Okay. That is the bulk of my content, and most of my content is heavily formatted. Boom, boom, boom. It's all laid out. That is typically how my videos go. As you can see, this video is not going to be that. It'll probably be under 10 minutes because I just wanted to get on here and really talk to you guys just briefly about what I have realized about being an empathetic person. So let me give you a little bit of context without putting all my personal business out there, okay? I about a month ago, had to deal with a situation with two family members. I'm going to leave that there. This situation heavily affected my personal life. It has an everyday effect on my personal life, briefly. So I had to deal with that situation. And actually, a couple of weeks ago, unfortunately, or not I, but we found out that my mother in law's cancer has returned. So she was a breast cancer survivor since 2017, and recently it did return. So that has been my last month. My last month has been very heavy, a very up and down emotional roller coaster. I know you probably, most of you guys that are here regularly were probably like, what the heck happened? Like, this girl just disappeared. I disappeared with reason. Like I said, I've been dealing with a lot this past month. The natural response that we usually have up front is care and concern. It's so crazy because I actually was supposed to film a video the day that everything kind of jumped off. I had my notes ready. I was going over some last little notes or whatever. I was about to do my makeup. I was about to film and be on track. I mean, I was getting those videos out weekly, and a situation arose, and it was literally an all hands on deck situation at that point. Like, I had to drop everything. Didn't film that day, didn't film that weekend. And then because things lingered on lingered on after that, it was okay, this is where I need to give my attention and awareness. So that took up the first couple of weeks. And then, like I said, after that, finding out about my mother-in-law, it just kind of added to it. I have no issue with being all hands on deck, right? That initial care and concern, it really takes over because you're like, you want to make sure that everybody involved in whatever scenario has happened is genuinely okay. Again, that's what being an empathetic person is. You really know how to take yourself out of the situation and say, okay, I want to make sure you're okay. What do you need from me? And obviously, we drop everything because we love these individuals. Obviously, if I'm dropping everything, that means that I have so much love for you that I am willing to completely ignore everything in my personal life for you. So we do these things out of love. That's what love is. Giving that amount of love to others is not the problem. Being present is also not the problem. The problem is the boundaries. And honestly, hindsight, I am grateful that this situation has happened the way that it did because it was a very strong test against my boundaries and I failed. I don't think we realize how wavering our boundaries can be until we're put in situations like this. If you are a super empathetic person and you have really stepped outside of your life and into somebody else's life, you will more than likely miss the warning signs because there are warning signs that begin to present themselves when you start abandoning your own life. I'll give you an example. After those first couple of weeks, even before finding out about my mother-in-law, I realized that I was very distracted, right? And I wasn't able to keep up with what I was doing anymore. If you watched this video, I talked about how I've been grading myself. I use this template on Notion. I've broken down my goals into mini goals, and I literally check whether or not I've done X, Y, and Z throughout that day because it gives me a grade for the entire week. I was not doing my Italian lessons. I was not posting consistently online. I was not getting up anymore and stretching in the morning. I completely abandoned everything that I was supposed to do because I was so distracted with everything else that was going on that I stopped paying attention to what I needed to do in my own life day to day. I allowed for my boundary to be crossed. I didn't respect my boundary that I had in place, and I crossed that line and I didn't know how to pull myself back. Another red flag is emotional overconsumption. I was so overwhelmed with emotion that I was realizing that I wasn't taking time to really sort through not only just my emotions, but all of the other emotions that I had taken on for everybody else that, was involved in the situation. So I lost sight of making sure that I was okay. I lost sight of making sure that I emotionally decompressed every night. But again, in our minds, we're like, well, I'm just being sympathetic. I am being emotionally available. I am being the support system that I'm supposed to be. Yes, you can be a support system. Yes, you can be present. Yes, you can be there for the tears and the hugs and anything that needs to happen in that moment with that other individual. You can be all of that, but you cannot completely abandon your own life in the process because you still have things that you need to deal with. We all still have goals that we're trying to reach. We all still have daily obligations that we need to fulfill. Things may not be on a catastrophic level for you like it is for somebody else, but that doesn't mean that you ignore or neglect your own life because there are still things that you have to get done for yourself. The biggest takeaway that I want you to receive from this video is that you can be there, you can be supportive, you can be present, you can be empathetic, you can be sympathetic, you can be all of those qualities. But there is a very fine line that you need to be careful of, and that is that you don't want to find yourself in a situation where you cross that line and then you completely forget about your own inner world. We have to be there and be present minded to deal with our own inner world day to day. If we're not dealing with our own emotional processing for the things that are going on in our lives and we're putting everything in our own inner world on hold for somebody else, what's going to happen when you shift back to yourself? Now you've got to go through all the things that you did not process. Now you have to get back on a routine. Now you have to get back acclimated to the daily rituals that you had. It has been a very real struggle for me the past month, trying to get myself back on track, trying to figure out, okay, I had all this momentum. I had all of this energy and excitement for what it was that I was doing. And then I lost it all because I abandoned myself. I forced myself to sit down and film this video in this way, like literally just getting on here and talking, because this was the only way that I was going to get myself back on track. If I had told myself, okay, you're going to sit down and you're going to film this video that's already scripted out and you're going to do your makeup and you're going to do all these things, I wouldn't have done it. It is your responsibility to be in control of your life, okay? To some degree. Obviously, we know the Most High is going to be in total control, but I'm saying things like this, situations like this, you have to remember that you are in control of your life, okay? And when it comes to giving everything that you have to somebody else or giving to myself first, I'm going to give to myself first, okay? I want you to give to yourself first. This is going to probably sound bad, but why am I neglecting myself? My inner world. Put it like this: every adult is in a situation that they're in because of choices that they've made, right? And this is good or bad. I'm not saying all bad. I'm saying good or bad. Every adult is in their current circumstance because of the choices that they've made. So you have to remember that, yes, I can be sympathetic and empathetic, but at the end of the day, you have to remember that whatever situation a family member or friend is going through is because they made choices that put them in that situation, okay? So be supportive, be a friend, be everything that you're supposed to be. But remember that you cannot be responsible for the choices that adults have made in their lives. So that is what has been going on. Like I said, I had to force myself to film this video because if I didn't sit down and just start talking, it wasn't going to happen. That is all that I have for you today. And yeah, remember that you are responsible for you. Okay, until next time.